Hey everyone, JC Cool here, and welcome to another episode of Coolcraft Season 6. In the last episode, I put a fair amount of effort into downtown, building this here parking garage, as well as doing a lot of terraforming around the edges to try and make this place look less stupid and floaty in midair. In addition to that, I also flattened out some of these plots of land here for future use, and I have kind of had some ideas what some of these plots of lands could start being used for. In this episode, I am going to go back to this block here, which I've almost finished filling in, and we're going to get started on the building here, which is going to be my brick shop, which is not going to be built out of bricks, unlike the building behind it, because it's going to all make so much sense. Like, so much sense, you won't believe how much sense that it's going to make. Step one is, of course, to actually get materials for this, as I don't have what I need for it. So, into the nether I go. Gathering materials for this build has actually been a bigger challenge than I expected it to be, because I haven't had large quantities of these materials laying around. So I've had to do some stuff to acquire them. Like, I needed a bunch of blue dye in order to make this stuff. So yeah, I've had to come over here and upgrade this flower farm, because I built a simple flower farm. It was just a shifting floor with, dispenser that you had to manually stand on top of. But, the problem with doing this in the plains biome is that you get a lot of junk and not much of the thing you actually want. So I came over here and rigged up this farm, which I've loosely based off of my memory of a design by Ilmango from like 7 years ago now. And this has indeed produced a fair bunch of blue dye. Anything extra just kind of falls down this hole here. As you can see, there's a lot. This does not have automated bone meal feeding, though. It probably should. But the basics of how this design works is the floor shifts back and forth with bone meal applied to it, as you would expect the normal farm to do. But come over here to this piston. Just reset that. Every so often, this system will fire, which temporarily extends the blocks of glass. I zeroed iron block here. These blocks of glass here down where all the items currently happen to be, which, of course, because when the items are inside of a block in Minecraft, they slowly move upwards, causes those items to move up on top of these now relocated blocks of glass. A little while after that happens, the pistons retract the blocks, now meaning the blocks are once again inside of the items, so they will continue to move upwards, but this time they have a bunch of blocks on top of them, so they will continue to move upwards until they are in this water, which allows them to be safely collected, and then we filter out what we actually want, aka blue flowers, and everything else gets chucked down the hole. Now that I've got all that stuff sorted out, and I've acquired all the resources I think I'm going to need to build this, let's get into a time lapse of me actually building this. My laziness feels like it might be starting to show here, as this is a building that I built in Season 4 and Season 1, and definitely am reusing the design of over again, but it works. It's in a city here, it's a modern building, that's what it is. It also took way less materials than I was expecting for some reason. Not entirely sure what was up with that, but I definitely can say that it was in part used less resources, because on these sides of the building where you can't actually see any of the windows because they would be just faced right into an existing building, I didn't bother doing windows at all because it doesn't make sense. Similar thing as to what I did over here with the Prismarine shop. This has now neatly rounded off this block here, being finally a full city block in downtown that has been filled out. The first one in quite some time. I mean, I guess none of them have been truly filled out yet, because I mean, this one does technically have this green space here. It's not going to have anything added to it, but it's still not full. The wool shop here has this entire area behind it. This block is, of course, very empty, and while this block is very big and has been almost entirely built on now, I guess there is this area here which is technically unbuilt. So, in some ways, I could say the first city block in downtown that has been completely built up. Now, despite the exterior being built up, there is currently absolutely no interior to this, which is kind of bad for a building that is supposed to be a shop. So, yeah, I guess I gotta make an interior to this brick shop now. The interior of the shop is, well, pretty simple here. It's just brick walls, smooth stone roof, and frog lights in the walls for light. We largely sell bricks here, and I've almost exhausted my supply of clay in order to get all these bricks. It took hours of smelting, and I kind of have to refill the coal on the super smelter now. But we have tons and tons and tons of bricks for sale at 9 stacks for 1 diamond. We could go lower on the price if necessary. But yeah, there's bricks in the brick shop. But also, I'm selling other things that are made out of that farm. So, mud, for instance, I decided to sell that because we make that, and going to a swamp or using bottles to make your own, kind of annoying. So that in bulk is 1 diamond per stack, and then I've yet to put it in, as they're still kind of farming it up right now. Rooted dirt, 1 diamond per stack. I don't think this thing's ever going to sell any, but if anyone wanted rooted dirt, it's here. Up next, it's time once again to map out the server to see what's changed. The last time I did this was in February. That's like 4 months ago. Bit under that. So yeah, and I can already visually see a lot has changed here. Over here in my base, a bunch of stuff over here in JRD Cool's base. So yeah, I guess I gotta get mapping. 1 mapping later, and yeah. Changes have definitely happened here on the server. For instance, this was actually so long ago, the highway was very far from where it is now. As you can see, the highway continues down this way. It's expanded to JRD's area over here a bit. I've of course had to add some new maps because stuff has happened in areas we didn't previously map. Like this area of JRD Cool's base exists now. It did not exist back here. A lot of these roads have actually been built out now. Obviously Town Hall was built, and can't forget what we did this episode and the last couple episodes over here and over here. Obviously my area built out a bunch with the tower around the cow farm. The cow farm, here it is. The cow farm did exist, as well as the wheat farm, but they weren't enclosed in buildings back when this map was made. So this map now does enclose all that, as well as the cherry tree farm and the blast chamber for that. And also the parking lot now exists for my storage system, which was actually covered up in the last mapping. But yeah, you can now actually tell where it is, thanks to the parking lot being built out around it. But yeah, that's the map. Now, with those maps being done, I do want to, quickly, bit of real talk here. I've recently, got a job, so yay employment, but that also means I will have a lot less time to actually, put into making these videos. Considering I only have 2 or 3 free days a week as it looks right now, yeah, that's going to put a serious strain on me being able to actually make videos, and of course after work I could do stuff, but I'm really quite tired after that. So yeah, what I'm saying is, yeah, if the videos start slowing down, that is definitely why. But besides that, we have then reached the end of this episode. So I'm gonna have to say thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Check out my game, which is linked in the description, and I will see you all in the next episode of Coolcraft Season 6. Bye!